Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off the checkout at c4energy.com. On Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the widest array of content here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're first to know when new episodes are available. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Podcast. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I'm your host. I'm the Clydesdale. She is Jamie Latimer, and we're here to do some wrap-up shows about what's going on across the pond in Berlin. So what's going on, Jamie?
Not much. Had to watch these on the old TV and phone, and it's definitely different feel, huh?
Way different. I think I told you before we went on the air, that wide shot of the floor for the event one sometimes looked like you were looking through a rainy window.
Yeah, that was, the comments in there were brutal, but I mean, Halpin was he was great, just like telling people to do burpees for penalties. What can you do? I mean, they did what they could do. I thought the commentary with Brian and Halpin in the comments was amazing. So you get what you get. It was nice to have something.
So I turned off the comments.
Oh,
I went full screen because I'm so used to live where I have like the full peripheral of the floor.
mm-hmm.
Like to go small screen, it was really tough for me. And I'm like trying to look around the corners and all of this stuff. And so I just went full screen on my laptop because it wasn't live anyway. So I wasn't able to comment back to the comments. So right. I was like, I'll just let it flow. So Damien says, you'd think watching the same thing 3 weeks in a row would be boring, but with the variable standards, it's exciting to see the unexpected.
Yeah.
Very interesting take, Damien.
Yeah. And I'm like trying to, at the end of this, I do want to like get that. I know a couple people have already done it, started putting together like a worldwide ranking leaderboard. And it's interesting to see, especially for event one, how the sled is pulling different or how times are falling different. So, the different standards and whatnot, or what judges call, or it's definitely interesting to watch.
Well, I think the uniformity on judging standards, lacking uniformity, is more than just event to event. I think it's lane to lane. So we were going to have that regardless.
Yeah. Yep.
Now the flooring and the sled, that made a huge difference. Like watching Berlin this morning was very different than watching the East and West in North America.
Agreed.
And I watched a little bit of Torian. That was very different as well.
Yeah.
So before we get into like the specifics of that event, as an athlete, if the sled moves easier, how does that change what that workout is and what the stimulus is?
Oh man, it's like purely cardio, and it's gonna be based on your running at that point, because that's the most time consuming component. So the better runner you are, the quicker you get off that machine, the better you're gonna do.
So one other comment I want to make before we get into specifics is, when Khan was in the booth giving commentary, did you see how many people came up to him and asked for selfies while he was on the air?
No. What the heck?
I was like, that takes the size of balls that Jamie had to ask for an Annika interview after she missed the games.
Yeah, gotta shoot your shot.
And if the audience doesn't know, Jamie did that. Jamie requested an interview with Annika right after she missed the games. That's why we love Jamie, because she goes for it, right?
Yeah.
And Annika is a friend of the show. I would have loved to hear her response, but yeah, we did not get that interview.
I actually don't
But
think they
you
ever
asked.
even got to ask her with the drug testing, from my understanding. I don't think they ever actually spoke to her and even asked. So who knows?
So Lex agrees with you. It makes it more of a cardio workout
Yeah.
entirely. So yeah. And that's what it seemed to be more in Australia for sure, with
Yeah.
Caitlin Van Zyl winning it there.
Hmm.
And I would even say probably was a huge impact on today's event in Berlin.
Yeah. Which I would think was the goal. I mean, if you're looking at the tests, you would think they would just wanted a long cardio piece. So it kind of sucks that it shook out the way it shook for North America, East and West, especially like lane dependent. But is what it is.
Yeah, and Kenneth is in your corner. The worst they can say is no, right?
Right, exactly. Which
Yeah.
we had that. I mean, I had people right to my face say,
Yeah.
walking off the floor that said, no, it is what it is.
Yeah. How surprised were you with the people that said yes and then the people that said no? How surprised were you which one said which?
I'm pretty surprised, although, like, I feel like as much as you think, like, and I've said, like, it's great what you're doing, trying to, like, get exposure to some of these athletes, there's also, like, probably a bit of shyness and unsureness out of some of those unknown athletes. Like, what do they want to ask me? Like, what, like, I don't know. You're like, you almost like panic in that moment, and your adrenaline's already running high, you're walking off that floor. So, like, some just were like, no thanks, and just like kept walking. And I get it. Like, um, I mean, I would probably say yes, but it's just not for everyone. And then there's like some that you're like probably thinking, like, man, they're like a professional. They're gonna want to go cool down right away. They're not gonna want to stop. And they said yes, and that was awesome.
So Lex says, I feel like they wanted a version of the triple three, but they didn't test the sled well enough on that floor.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I think they were going for too.
I completely agree. So today we pick up the action. Event one. It really kind of took off in heat 2, I believe, with Jennifer Muir.
Yes.
And I have some notes here. My notes are surface was way different. We've already kind of touched on that. Much smoother on the sled. And then Jennifer Muir hit a 23:47 in heat 2, which actually turned out winning the event.
Right.
In heat 3, Gabby Magawa and Amy Kringle were really off the runner fast, but seemed to lose time on the sled at that point. And my last note for the women is that Karen Freyova and Emma McQuaid had really good finishes in this event.
Yeah. I mean, and I think Annie did pretty darn good. I mean, 7th isn't bad. It's a good start.
So I have the women's leaderboard up if you want to share it. And we can look at the event finish on that. So there we go. And I will sort it by workout 1. And this is weird. Like, for some reason, 0, the withdrawal comes up first.
How did I notice that too?
So Madeline Pershin took second. Kind of came out. That's an unknown for me.
Yeah.
I will admit up front that I am not as deep on my European athletes as I am here in North America, but I am trying to learn as quickly as I can. Madeline Pershin actually had 2 great events today.
Yeah.
And then Gabby Magawa, Karen Freyova, Amy Kringle, Carolyn Mueller-Korn.
Also don't know.
With the hometown crowd. And then Annie Thorstadter, Emma McQuaid, Andra Moistus, and Emma Tall. So not too bad there. Anything stand out to you there? There's Sarah Sigmund's daughter, kind of outside 11th place.
Yeah. Did she get 11th on that? I had 13th written down.
She got 11th.
Oh,
did you see the gaff at the end where she stopped early?
No. Oh, yes. Like stopped her sled at the normal line, did like from the other. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then turned and was like, well, yeah, I saw.
Yeah. Why does she always make those little mental errors that seem to cost her?
I don't know. You would think being like this long in the sport, some of those things would have gone away. Like that's the kind of stuff that you don't really see your veterans like Valner or Fikowski making. I mean, like it's weird because Valner has like weird mishaps. Like he always seems to have a setback, but like not like I feel like not those mental breaks, right?
Right. So, and I think that's the frustration with Sarah. And then it, watch this weekend come down to she's going to be on the cut line, and every little point is going to count. And she didn't pull the sled far enough.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe I don't. Time wise, there was a pretty good gap between her and Emma Tall. 14 seconds. I don't think it took her that long to recover, so it may not have made a difference.
Right. Yeah, I think it was like 5 seconds. And then a lot of people had comments about Laura with sort of a little bit of a rough start.
Laura. There she is, 23rd. Yeah.
It's not bad. I mean, we saw much lower places come back like that event. The leaderboard seems to shake up after this day, so like you can't even go off of that even close.
Correct. Yeah, so there is event 1 for the ladies. Then we moved over to the men. And yeah, so my notes here are Jelle Hosta.
Yeah.
In heat 2 again. Set the second fastest time in the world.
Right.
Massive sled pulls. Like he would pull and get like a whole chunk of like a block every pull.
Yeah, and then, his and Jukic's, I felt like were pulling really. They were getting a lot of extra pull out of it, like movement even after they stopped pulling.
I had Lazar next, Lazar Jukic with a great run.
Yeah,
and that was good to see, because I don't think we've seen that Lazar in 18 months ish. So that was really good to see. And then I have BKG with a great start, and Henrik Hampalainen with a great start.
Yep.
So yeah. So and then we have a couple comments. We have Damien. We've seen several of our favorites start bad and recover. Go Laura. And Wad Zombie. Love hearing Jamie's accent on here.
I don't have an accent. Stop.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I feel like I fit in with the Canadians. Let's go back to North America West.
All right. Your Nick Matthew interview, someone commented NEEEKMATHEEW. Nick Matthew.
I did not say it like that.
Kind of did.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of did.
I gotta say my favorite interview. All right, Ken. That Velichnik, whatever, Aggie Velichnik was. I wish. Maybe it's just the European in them. I don't know. I wish we could get a North American athlete to speak so bluntly and candidly. They're so worried about their image and so worried about giving away whether they're hurt or what they're excited about or what their strength is, that they you don't get much from them when you're speaking to them. And this guy was by far my favorite interview that I've ever heard anyone have. He was just yep, crush that. Look for me on event 3. I'm going to crush that one. Like I loved him.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. Pat is about probably the only blunt interview we get.
Yeah.
And
even that you can just like
that too.
Feel he says it kind of, but like it's more like you can feel it in him that he's like grumpy. I just people are, I don't know, worried about being canceled, I guess, so they watch what they say without being overly vocal. And like I said, I just think for the most part they don't want to give away their cards and let their competition know exactly how they're feeling. And I don't know. You know me, I'm like an open book. I share everything. People like you can see all my lifts, all my workouts. When we do an online comp, my videos are there. I hate that videos are private. I just wish the public, like people were more public and open about things. But
yeah. So Lex says that Colton is candid, LOL. I think that Colton is pretty blunt when you get him to talk.
Yeah.
But like this last weekend, I think I heard he was sick Saturday and was just trying to get through the day, and probably why he didn't give us an interview, because he gave us 2 on Sunday.
Right.
When you get him to talk, he's pretty open and honest about how he feels about things. It's just getting him there to get that. And then Amy Hill says that, yeah, Pat's interviews are great too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely liked talking to Pat. It was definitely more candid.
And then Damien says, where's the accent from?
I'm from Michigan. I don't have an accent.
Michigan.
It's not that strong.
And then Wad Zombie said, I think Colton got me sick.
Oh, no.
Shouldn't have kissed him.
Lesson learned.
There you go. So let's look at the men's leaderboard. And again, it's all whacked out with these stupid zeros.
Weird.
But
yeah.
Basically, Yella Hosta, it took first on that event. Lazar Jukic second. Heinrich Hypalainen took third. Then we have David Shrunky at fourth. Augustin Vilensnik in fifth, who's going to crush event 3, right?
Yeah.
BKG in sixth. Sure. Yeah. Marazashewikizits. Yeah, he took seventh. Moritz Fiebig in eighth. Becca Vernads in ninth. I am doing no better than Chase.
Yeah.
No better at all. And then Ludwig Hansen 10th with Alda Supanix in 11th. Yeah, and then let me say Michael Smith. I think I can get that one right.
There you go.
There. He's in 12th. So, any other surprises in this field?
Not really. I mean, I feel like same with Laura. I feel like if you were a Guillaume Briant fan, you may be kind of questioning where he's at, but I guess we'll see what tomorrow. His placement was definitely worse than hers.
One more time with who that was. I'm sorry. I was reading a comment. I got distracted.
Guillaume Briant.
Okay. Yeah. My big thing is I want to talk about Reggie Fossa. The guy always talks big coming into the live events, and then we don't see anything. So it's just frustrating. But you have people that are very good at online competitions, and then when the lights are on, they don't show up.
Yeah. Reggie was at Dubai, right?
I believe so.
And I feel like he didn't do that bad at Dubai.
So then we go to event 2. Let me pull this down again. Get my notes out. Event 2, which was the muscle up complex, the pistols into the box jumps, burpee box jump overs. With the women, I really started, my notes really started heat 5. Jacqueline Dahlstrom came out hot, fast, and that did not prove to be the best strategy.
I feel like we saw that along all the people who came out blazing fast, other than Emma Lawson, usually got burned by it in round 3.
Yeah, because right behind her, even though she went out hot, was Mathilde Garnes, Elisa Fuliano, and Karen Freyova. They were right behind her. They seemed to hang towards the top a lot better than she did, with Elisa Fuliano taking the lead with 49 reps. And then heat 6, we had Claudia Gluck. She came out fast. And then there were a lot of people right behind and she was so fast on pistols.
Yeah.
She ended up taking second. Magawa struggled on her last round of muscle ups.
Yep.
Laura's pace on the last round got much quicker.
Yep.
But it was too late because Emma Tall had got out to a big lead. And Annie seemed to struggle with pistols. Those are my notes.
And Annie even, I think, no repped or just had to break more. I think she got 1 no rep in that 3rd round of muscle ups too. So again, I just feel like a little too hot to start and can't quite hold on. I will say, I don't know if it's because it's week 3 or if it's just the European women, but there is not a single 0 in the field for women.
Yeah. And when I say Annie struggled with the pistols, they just seemed slower than the rest of the field. Not that she ever seemed to like not be in control of them.
Yeah.
It just, they didn't seem to be as fast.
She's long-legged.
So, she is. So let's look at the women of workout 2. That finished with Emma Tall, Claudia Gluck. That's not easy to say. Elisa Fuliano. Laura Horvath bounces back with a 4th. Turi Helgadottir, who needed this bad, with a 5th.
Yeah.
Mathilde Garnes in 6th. Manon Anganese in 7th. Annie Thorsdottir in 8th. Aline Wers in 9th. And Ella Wunger in 10th. Tied with Julia Blazechowska. Sure. Any surprises in this event?
Nope. I just think it speaks to the adaptability of the athletes when they have time with an implement, to not get any 0s here.
So, Amy Hill says the accent is strong to us West Coasters. And then Clock agrees he's a West Coaster as well, because he said your accent is fairly strong.
Okay.
And then no 0s shows the European women are still dangerous.
Yeah, I think it speaks to time to practice the implement. And I bet you more of them got their hands on that implement in that time. And like, especially week 1 with the East, even if they wanted to practice it, not everyone had the Go Ruck pack and probably could get it quick enough to practice with it. So a ton of East coasters were practicing with vests, which is different, even if they put the weight in the back. So, I mean, I just think it's, they're all, if you give these people time, they will adapt to it. And that just doesn't happen when you're week 1.
I think my biggest surprise in this one was Emma McQuaid.
Yeah.
Finishing in 21st. It's not going to kill her. But it just surprised. I thought this seemed to be more up her alley than a 21st. And
Yeah.
there we have Sarah down in 26th.
Yeah,
So,
she seemed to sort of struggle with the muscle up. She was kind of slow coming off of those.
Lex jumps in with 100% more practice and seeing how the other two semis went and how to pace.
Yeah. And East didn't know that it was not a complex, right? Like that's how it was practiced for those people. And once you learn that you can ring muscle up, dip, hit a toe to ring, and come back down, totally changes the event. So.
And Lex also says MMA have 2 hard events, but we'll smash the rest.
Yeah, I wouldn't count her out. She's on the cut line, so she's safe even as is, and I don't think anything is going to get worse. So.
Yeah, Amy Kringle, big drop from event 1 from a 5th to a 35th.
Yeah.
But probably evens out okay for her. We saw much worse finishes in the East and West the last 2 weeks where people came back and were fine. So let's sort this by overall just to see where we are going into day 2. And there we have Emma Tall in the lead, Annie Thorstadter in second, Gabby McGowa in third, Karen Freyova in fourth, Madeline Pershin cranking in the top 5, Mano Anganese in sixth, Mathilde Garnis in seventh, Ella Wunger in eighth, Laura Horvath in ninth, and Elisa Fuliano in 10th. And the last qualifying position is Emma McQuaid in 11th.
Yep. So I feel like first thoughts, that Madeline, is she going to be a Hannah Black? I didn't even really see her. Is she a bigger, stronger girl, or I couldn't?
Pershin, I don't think so. But I'll be honest, the footage wasn't awesome in the event 1.
Yeah.
Where she took second. She took 18th in event 2, where she wasn't featured much on the broadcast.
Right. Exactly.
And you don't get to see the whole field like we do when we're live. Clock, we do not have any background on Pershin. In fact, I could not pick her out of a lineup right now because I've not seen a clear. She's kind of like Bigfoot. I've not really got a full view of her during this competition.
So I would say she's quite a bit bigger. Karen Freyova's a little bit taller, and so I don't know if she's, I don't know, 69 kilograms.
Yeah.
Mid-range.
I don't know.
I guess. I don't know.
Times 2.2.
Yeah.
Like 140, 150.
So she's the same as Manon Anganese.
Manon Anganese is pretty strong.
Yeah.
So yeah. Kenneth says it's a complex. You know what that is, right? Apparently I don't.
Yeah. I think we all got taken for one on that one. But yeah, she would be my one to watch. I mean, I would think that's the name that you don't expect to see up there in the top 11. And if you're like rooting for either Amy or Sarah, that's probably the person it's going to be tight. I mean, somebody is going to be left out of here. And out of those, I would think Dahlstrom would be the one to jump in and then that person drop out. But
yeah, and I don't know Ella Wunger either.
Yeah, the name. I mean, I've heard her, but
I've briefly heard of her.
I've heard of her. I've never heard of the person.
Let's go to the men in event 2. My notes say Heat 5, Dumais and Katulis went out hot. Alinkowitz and Haipalainen were right behind. Haipalainen and Katulis seemed to be kind of the leaders in that heat. Heat 6 came, and Jonakowski just destroyed it.
Yeah, he did.
He ended up beating Colton and
Yep.
Scott Tetlow's time or
Mhm.
count and set the world record at 57 reps. He did massage his pec a little
I
bit
saw
after
that.
round 2. That was concerning. But went on, and Lazar Jukic, another solid event,
Mhm.
back to back. Moritz Fiebig looked good too. So yeah, I would say Bronislav surprised me in this one. This is all cardio on gymnastics, no barbell, and he seemed to do pretty well for him.
Mhm.
And if he can kind of keep those top 15s in
Mhm.
these types of events, he's going to kill the snatch events and probably Linda. So I don't know, maybe Bronislav makes it to the games this year.
Yep.
Little underdogs coaching. I did see that Moritz Fiebig did seem to struggle on the last set of muscle ups, which allowed Lazar, and nobody was going to catch Yona.
No. Mm-mm.
So we will go to, and if you have any other comments on this, go ahead. I will pull up the men. Workout 2. And that is, we got Yonakoski with the win. We got those weird anomalies in the middle. Enrico Zanoni took second. I didn't even see him. Like, that's, the broadcast didn't even show him.
Yeah.
And he pulls out 52 reps in a second place.
Yeah.
Lazar Jukic in third. Alex Katulis in fourth. Moritz Fiebig in fifth, tied with Victor Hofer. Antoine Dumaine in seventh. Heinrich Hypelainen in eighth. Luca Vunjak in ninth. Colin Bosshard in 10th. Fabian Benito in 11th. One thing I did notice today after this event is that Luka Jukic made an announcement on his Instagram that he had to withdraw from the competition due to a very severe case of the flu.
Yes.
So he must have kissed Colton too.
Yes.
Which is sad to see. Luka
Yeah.
seems to make inroads, and then something happens and he falls back. But yeah. Any surprises in this event for you, Jamie?
No.
No.
No. I don't know. I don't know enough about them to know whose strength should be the not of these like mid road 20 to 30 guys. I don't know.
I don't know if you can see my pointer. The 25th place person, I thought BKG would do better at this.
Yeah. So BKG is I have on my launcher leaderboard, I have BKG, Hoffer, and Catulis. Thankfully I didn't play BKG for this event, but yeah, that one surprised me a little bit.
Yeah. So that's probably my biggest surprise is this seemed like a BKG type event to me. And he didn't do as well as I thought. So let's look at the overall leaderboard where we have Lazar Jukic in first, Heinrich Hypelainen in second. Heinrich Hypelainen is the most unassuming good CrossFitter I think there is. He just kind of keeps going and he ends up at the top of the leaderboard somehow.
Yeah. He's a Cole Sager.
Well, he's not waiting until Sunday.
That's true. He's doing really well. Really, really well.
Yeah. Moritz Fiebig in third, Jella Hosta in fourth, Yonakoski tied in fourth, Alex Katulis in sixth, Aldis Upenix in seventh, Enrico Zanoni in eighth, BKG in ninth, even with that 25th place finish, Colin Bosshard in 10th, and Luka Vunjak in 11th, with Bronislaw Alinkowitz in 12th, one spot out, with the snatch to come tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. Same thing. I feel like there's going to be 2 or 3 guys stuck out of the cut line that you're just like, oh man. I don't know if Briant will be able to sneak back up there. I sort of thought maybe Hoffer would be a little bit higher as of now, but again, he's pulling like he had that 53rd on the first event, so
Yeah, I would say I think this has pretty much been chalk for the most part. No huge surprises. I think the qualifying people in the qualifying position, I do not know who Colin Bosshart is. But a 19th and a 10th. David Shrunky, he could jump up in there.
right.
But nothing too wild. And Enrico Zanoni won Dubai, correct? Or no, that's Fabian Benito.
Yeah. Which he's in 18th right now. I mean, I feel like there's like 3 people that it's going to be kind of like the girls, like 2 or 3 girls, and only one is probably going to drop out. And same thing, there's going to be like 2 or 3 guys, and probably only one's going to drop out. So we're going to be sad for a couple people.
Yeah. So let's talk about tomorrow. We have Linda to start off the day. Any thoughts on? Again, they'll have seen what has happened, and if you don't pace Linda, Linda will hurt you. Unless you're Amanda Barnhart.
Yeah.
Any predictions on the women's side? Who's going to do well at that?
I mean, I think Laura's going to do great at it. Super strong. In my lawn chair leaderboarding, I have Manon Anganese is my pick for that event, so I'd like to see her do well.
That's a really good pick.
Yeah.
I think Annie's going to do well.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder what the little bit longer limbs, if she'll be, I mean, that's just longer to go with those dumbbells, longer to go with that squat clean. But yeah, she'll probably be fine.
She's super strong. I really think she'll do well. I think Mano is going to do well. If you say Madeline Pershin is a bigger athlete, she may do well as well.
Right.
But I think kind of like a dark horse here is Emma McQuaid. Smaller levers, very much in that Colton makeup, and I think she could do well. And really kind of stabilize her spot in the top 10.
I would agree with that.
So then we go to the men. Any thoughts on the men?
Well, I'd be curious to see how Koski does in it. If there's any tech question, if he favors that one side or, so he'll be one to watch. And then for my launcher, I picked BKG, so I'm hoping he performs a little bit better on this one.
I think Bronislaw is the obvious choice. I think David Shrunky will probably do okay.
I think Shrunky will do well. And then Velisnik, he's going to crush it.
Yeah, he told us.
Yeah. I kind of hope he does. I hope he's top 3 or 4.
Yeah. Then we go from there to the run snatch and the snatch run. Let's stick with the men here. I think the run snatch, Bronislaw will probably open with something stupid.
Yeah.
And just like Tudor and do something amazing there. And then I will say, I don't know. I'll just go Bronislaw. I know that's going to be a good one for him.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at Hoffer on that one.
Okay. And then we go to the women for that. We go to the snatch run. And I think that is a Lazar Jukic.
Yeah, that's a great pick for sure.
The way he ran today on that runner, I think nobody's got him.
Yeah. Him, and then I'd like to see that Yella Hosta because he ran so well on the runner. And I know it was 2K, but I'll keep my eye on that Yella Hosta.
Then we go to, so Lex, is Annie for Linda or Annie for what's coming? So then we go to the women for the run snatch.
Yep. I'm picking
and that's who I would pick. Dang it. So I will go Emmental.
That's a good pick.
Emmental.
What's Laura's snatch? Any idea?
It's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know she is a good lifter. I just don't know if it's on the great end.
Yeah.
So Lex says that she's picking Annie for the snatch. Annie always scares me because she tries to power snatch everything. She doesn't like to go into the squat. You're going to have to go into the squat for this one. So that's my reservation with Annie.
Fair.
And then the snatch run. Who do you have there?
I
changed my pick for the run snatch. I'm taking Karen Freyoa.
Oh, that's a good pick too.
Yeah.
Very good pick.
Oh, and I said it just before Carolyn did. Carolyn Prevost says Freyoa for the snatch.
Yeah. I don't know who's like a super fast runner in this group. Maybe that Jennifer. I don't know if I think it was the runner that she gained the most time on. I mean, other than just her sled pulled really well. So I'd keep my eye on her. I don't know.
My pick for the run is my girl, Mathilde Garnis. Just those long strides alone have got to get her there fast. But I do need to point out my stupidity, saying that I was reluctant to pick Annie on the snatch. Lex points out she almost won the snatch at the games 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You are correct. In that moment where she hit
Did she hit 205 or just 200?
I don't know. Whatever it was a lot. And I really need to remember my Annie history better. I
was envisioning it. It scares me. She's got that like elbow that doesn't seem like it's. I don't know. Her snatch scares me the same as when I would watch Brooke snatch.
So Lex, I think the messaging is delayed on our end. So I said it out before it came into us. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it.
You're just helping with the picks. That's fine.
Carolyn says, I know Fuliano sprinted at a high level. Not sure about her 800-meter run, though. She's just so tiny.
Yeah.
She could. But that doesn't mean she can't run.
Yeah.
And Lex says, Annie always makes it happen, but it looks scary.
Yeah. It does.
So that's kind of the preview for tomorrow. This was fun.
Mm-hmm.
We had a nice crowd in here tonight. Thank you, everybody. Do you have cottonwood in Michigan or
Is that
Michigan?
the white fuzzies that's out everywhere?
Yeah.
Yes, it's bad, real bad.
It
It
it's
looks like
like
it's snowing.
snowing here.
Yes, it looks like it's snowing.
And the stuff has like a mind of its own. You'll be walking, it's coming down, and then it like shoots up your nose.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I've been dealing with that all day. Because I've been trying to do a little bit of outside stuff and some grilling. It's a food prep for the weekend. But yeah. Well, Amy, thank you so much. She says good stuff, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. This is always fun. But yeah, we will fight the snowing cottonwood and get back here tomorrow. I think 7:00 we picked
Works
for
for me.
tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Sunday, I have two graduation parties. That's what I'm trying to figure out where to put it, and then we'll come on. But it'll be Sunday afternoonish, early evening, late afternoon, somewhere in that vein, to kind of wrap up the whole semifinal season. And then I think we're going to announce that Jamie and I may be doing a new show. So just a new show to add to the caveat of choices you have on the Clydesdale Media YouTube channel. But with that, we will catch you all. Thank you so much for being in the chat. We will catch you all next time on the Clydesdale Media Podcast as soon as I find the button.